So you might have seen articles like these pop up a few months ago about Starbucks. But what usually happens once a CEO takes over, the stock comes right back down until the CEO has a chance to prove himself. Starbucks case, that hasn't happened yet. Look at that. They had this initial surge and it just plateaued. What I realize in life, when things don't make sense, start looking at the data and it will become very clear. So that's what I did. So most analysts are projecting that Starbucks will have a compound growth of 7% a year, which will mean in the next 5 years, they will have a growth of 42%. To decrease the number of outstanding shares by 8%, that means Starbucks will be worth $151 over the next 5 years, which is just 18% better than the S&P 500. So if you invested that same money, that $90 or so in the S&P 500, your return will literally be $134 versus Starbucks, which will give you $151. Now here's where things are really crazy. Almost every analyst that's betting on Starbucks isn't betting on the fundamentals or the data or their projected revenue, but the replication of success that he had in Chipotle. So what I did is I plugged in the same numbers that he had in Chipotle the last 5 years for Starbucks for the next 5 years. And this is the result I got. Increase the revenue by 15% every year for the next 5 years. That's an increase of 101%. That means Starbucks will go from 36 billion to making 72 billion. And he's betting that he will able to increase the margin of profit from 10% to 15%, which would give you intrinsic value of $285 over the next 5 years from the current price of almost 3x return from today's value. People are not looking at the data. People that have moved on from Starbucks are not coming back. Even though the geopolitics has slowed down, people like the taste of their local coffee shop, and they also realize that the beans they buy are very similar to what Starbucks has because the supplier at the end is the same. That means they're gonna have to spend billions of dollars to get new customers, which means their marginal profits will decrease. It won't be at 15. I guarantee you it will still be at 10, but people are not looking at that fact. He did 15 at Chipotle, he'll do 15 on Starbucks. It's not the same. It really isn't. When he took over Chipotle, there was no real competition. He can't replicate the same success with Chipotle again. That's why he left. Even Chipotle has competition. Chipotle recently did a price increase of 2%. They never do a 2% price increase. It would usually be 10, 15, 20%. And even then, they really had to think because they have competition. Listen, this isn't an investment. This is a gamble. If you want to buy this as an investment, you have to buy it under $70. Then you have the highest potential for 2x return with